is a quick video demonstration of how to set up patterns and crews on a PTZ-HN03100-D. The first thing you got to do is you have to run your RS-485 on the back of a DVR. The camera is properly labeled black and red for the RS-485. Black is negative, red is positive. On the back of a DVR, you will put this on the A and B. A is positive and B is negative. After you plug the camera, you will see something like this. When you power it on the camera, you will see all the information regards protocol, address, and baud rate. This is very important for you to because you're gonna have to put this on the configurations of the DVR. So this camera has dip switches on it, so if you have multiple of these cameras, you're gonna have to change the address of them. And you can refer to the manual, and inside the manual it will tell you how to the combination of the dip switches and what address you're gonna assign to. As you see, the camera is flipped right now because it's sitting flat on a surface right now. So there's a feature for this demonstration. I'm gonna flip the image, but normally you will not do that when you mount the camera. So the first thing I have to do is I have to gain control of the camera. So in order for me to do that, I'm gonna have to log into the DVR. Then you go to settings, pan tilt zoom, and then this camera is connected to channel 2, even though the camera says camera 1. The camera is connected to channel 2, and from the drop down what I have to do is choose channel 2. The protocol, as I saw before, it was Pelco D. The address was number 1, and the baud rate was 2400. So that's good. Click save. Then right click and pan tilt zoom. Here I'm going to change the speed to, let's say, 4. So that's how the camera is going to move. You see, I have completely control of the camera right now. So the next step will be accessing the OSD. For me to access the OSD, I just simply go to paste switch, put preset 95, and hit preset. As you see, there's the OSD of the camera. Within the OSD, you see all of these options right here. So you can navigate through them using the arrows. Okay? So for you to access each one, you can go to minus iris, or I'm sorry, minus focus, and there you go. You can clear all the data for the cameras if you configure something on the camera. You can reboot the camera, you can reboot the system and all that from this menu. So let's go down here, and I'm gonna choose back. The minus focus is like the OK button. So the next step will be go to system information. You can see on system information what you will find there. This is something related to the firmware, the protocol, and the address that the camera is set to. Go back, and here on the display setup, you will see all of the information. If you want like that camera ID or CAM1 to show up there, you can turn it off and turn it on. For you to access the menu, let's say you are on this camera ID, what you do is you click minus focus, and you see the arrow comes here. Then you can use the up and down to change the settings. Okay, for this demonstration I'm okay. I'm gonna leave it on. So I just click minus focus again, and it will be reverted back, or it will go back to the menu. Alright, so the most important thing here, what I'm doing is a preview of the menus of how you will see it on the OSD of the camera, and this is where you will configure the patterns or the swing, or if you wanted to configure, let's say, multiple presets, you can have the camera to go throughout those presets. So you can configure like a cruise or something. So for you to do that, you're gonna have to go back, and I'm gonna get out the OSD of the camera, and I'm going to configure the presets. Okay. So first, let me go back again, and let me revert that image. Set up, image flip on. There you go. Go back, and then go back. The easiest way for you to configure the presets, it will be here at the DVR once you have it plugged in. So let's say I'm gonna configure this on number 2. Alright. So you see now I have to press up to go down because the image is flipped. So I'm gonna have this to be my preset number 1. So what you do is you move the camera to the desired position, then under this pan tilt zoom options, you will see an option here that says set. Under, where you see all of your errors and all that, you click set, and then you choose under preset, you choose the number 1. That's going to be your preset number 1. Then you have to click set. There you go. That's my number 1. So then I'm going to move the camera. It's going to be my number 2, for example. So let's say right here is going to be my number 2. Alright. Again, set. The next preset will be number 2. And then set. That's my number 2. And I'm going to zoom out. And I'm going to move, let's say, right there. It's okay. And set. Number 3. Set. There you go. So now, those 3 presets are configured already. So for me to test them, I'm going to have to go to pan tilt zoom. I was here, and I go to this next window. And what I do is I put the preset number I created. Press 1, and the camera will move to preset number 1. Press 2, preset number 2. There you go. And number 3. So they're working good. So the next step is going to be to create the pattern or the cruise based on the presets that I created. That's what we create the presets first. Okay, so you have to go to the OSD of the camera by doing preset 95 and navigate to the dome camera setup. Click minus focus. Then you're going to go to group. Click minus focus, and there you go. The group number 1 is undefined, so we're going to have to define the group based on the presets we create. You're going to go all the way down to edit group, and you're going to click the minus focus, and you will see this option. So basically the action, these are menus, okay? These are columns here. The no action means the presets that you're going to configure to. The time is going to be the time that is going to wait for it to go from preset to preset. Okay? You will see once I started configuring the configurations here, configuring the settings here. So minus focus. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on it, and then you will see it says none, but it's kind of like white and you can't see it. Now it says preset. Okay? So as you see the action, it will be preset. The preset number will be 1. The dwell time is the time that the camera is going to wait between preset to preset. Okay? And the optional is the speed. That is how it's going to do it. Okay? So next will be going to next here. Preset number 1 is fine. The dwell time will be 3 seconds. It's okay. And the optional will be 360. let's say these are degrees, by the way, degrees per second. So let's say 40 is fine. Next, and I'm gonna go to plus focus again. Oops. Alright, plus focus. See, the camera already moved to preset number 1. And go down, minus focus, change it to preset. Now the next number will be number 2 because I want the camera to move from preset number 1 to preset number 2. 3 seconds is fine. Let's put a 40 degrees here, or let me put it less, that's fine. Minus focus again. There you go, the camera is responding to that. And minus focus, change it to preset. I want this to be number 3. And let's do 10. So I want to make it slower. So I'm done. This is it. The next thing is to hit save. Basically you have to plus focus and it will go to the save button, and then minus focus to save it. There you go. So you see now it doesn't say undefined anymore, it's already created it. You go back, then you have to configure, you go to camera setup, and this is very important for you to set it up because otherwise you're not going to be able to, the camera will not pick up the pattern or the cruise after the camera is moved. Let's say the camera is doing the preset and you move the camera to point it to a different direction, the camera will not go back to start doing the presets because that function is not enabled by default. So you have to enable it. The option is under motion setup, and what you have to do is you have to go to parking action setup, minus, and then the park enable, you have to enable the option, it's disabled by default, so you have to enable it. Okay, then the wait time, this is in seconds, so after 10 seconds the camera will, actually this is minutes, after 10 minutes the camera, after you move the camera, it will go back to the to start doing the cruise as you set it up before. Okay, I'm gonna set it up at 1 minute. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to change it, and instead of going home I wanted to start doing preset 1, or I can tell them to do group 1, which is, it should be the right option to choose because group 1 contains preset number 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so minus focus again. I'm gonna go back, and I'm gonna go back. That's it. You have everything configured, and what you need to do is you need to activate the preset that you set, or the group that you set. As you see, the camera, it's moving right now. After a few seconds, actually a minute, the camera will start moving based on the group and the presets that we configure in that group. It's very easy to use. Again, if I move the camera right now, the camera of course will move. You can move however you want it. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave that like that, and then basically because I set the park actions to start the group number 1, the camera will start doing the presets over and over and over. And this is one cool feature that actually not all of the PTZs they have it, and it's very important to to understand that, and actually it will be very easy to understand after you leave the camera running. Let's say it is running the pattern, and then all of a sudden you move the camera and the camera will not move anymore. Well, that is because either the park action is not enabled or that camera does not support a park action. Okay, so it's very important. This feature is extremely important when the camera is doing its pattern and you move the camera to point it to a different location and then you walk away, the camera should start moving. If you have this camera and you're doing all of these steps, I'm pretty sure everything will be configured correctly and the camera will start moving again, as you see. And basically the camera will non-stop move into its patterns, and the presets that I set. And that's all. I hope this has been informative for you, and I would like to thank you for viewing.